All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and we have had already an incredibly busy winemaker dinner and wine tasting series in 2014, and one of our friends from Washington State just out to visit us, Betz Family Winery, Tim Steinke, and he was in the store with a very small group. And I always say, you know, these lesser known wineries, even though everyone should know Betz Family Winery, one of the, you know, to me, one of the benchmark producers in Columbia Valley today, still not a lot of people in this market recognize these great Washington State wineries just yet. They're in their 17th vintage, and Bob was going to be a medical student. He applied for medical school and didn't get accepted, so he took a European vacation instead, and, well, he did get accepted to Chateau Lafite, Latour, and some of the great properties in Bordeaux, and fell in love with wine, decided when he got back, well, you know, maybe I don't want to be a doctor, took a job with Chateau Ste. Michelle. He was a very early advocate for Washington State wines. He worked with a lot of small growers, and he helped these guys, these small farmers, put the correct varietals in the right place. And today they produce about 5,000 cases of wine. The 85 was when they got things started here, the 85 vintage. And Washington State has got one of the best climates in the world, best terroirs for growing grapes, and there's a number of reasons for this. It's got a variety of soil types because of this Missoula flood thing, and you have all this soil from different parts of the country that got brought into Washington State. You've got that the volcanic soil that's there naturally. You got two huge natural volcanoes there, and then you have this big difference in day and nighttime temperature. You know, when the temperature dips below 75 degrees, the grapevines stop respirating, stop producing malic, well, they keep their malic acid rather, and you can make fine wines that are built for aging when you have this big difference in day and nighttime temperatures. It's very, the temperature is very consistent in September and October. You don't get a huge amount of rainfall any time of the year here, much less than you see in Napa Valley. And you get 17 extra hours of sunlight here in the summer months, which is 4 more hours of sunlight than California. You get 17 hours of sunlight. So a number of reasons why it's easy to get grapes perfectly ripe just about every year. The Betz family works with 31 different blocks from 9 different growers, and they were the first people to start buying by the row instead of buying by the ton. That was back in 1989. You know, Bob said, in order for me to make great wines from other people's vineyards, I'm going to have to convince them they need to make less fruit. And the only way to do that is say, I'm going to pay you for this row, no matter how much fruit is produced by it. So, you know, they taste each barrel, which is like 250 barrels, 6 times. A very reductive style of winemaking. They don't go in there and barrel taste anybody that wants to taste their wines. They make notes on that, and then they do 15 to 25 different trial blends for each of these wines before coming up with a finished product. A lot of time and effort goes into making the best possible wines that they can at Betz. We started out with the Belle Soleil Grenache, and 2003 was the first vintage of this wine. It's meant to be a Chateauneuf de Pape style with the 5 main varietals. And this is the first vintage that they've had it. It's made with 500-liter Foudre, so the same style that they make in Chateauneuf also. This wine's 51% Grenache, 18% Cinsault, 12% Cunoise, 12% Mourvedre, and 7% Syrah. This wine's got a lovely perfume to it. Actually, the second bottle, even better. The first bottle was a little bit shy and, you know, wasn't corked, but it just wasn't right. And it was good that Tim knew these wines because he said that we're going to open up a second bottle. The second bottle just had a much bigger bouquet here, some gunpowder, wild strawberry, jam-like fruit, an array of incense spice, white pepper, really lovely freshness on the palate here, juicy berry fruit, blackberry, black raspberry, host of that perfume floral nuance showing from the nose through the finish, and a lot of that nice little hints of spice and floral notes. A really excellent bottle of Chateauneuf de Pape style blend for $45.50 on this offer for today only. Anyway, so Betz family La Serene Syrah up next is from the Boucher Vineyard. Higher altitude than the Côte Rousse, the other wine that they make, which is from Red Mountain. This one is from Yakima. It's the same exact clone, and it's made the same way. It's a Phelps clone. The only difference is the terroir in these two wines, and they used to make one wine in 1999, or I think it was the first vintage of this wine, 2000. They actually split it out and said, you know, we got 2 very different stylistically Syrahs here, the one from Red Mountain, the one from Yakima. So 100% of this wine comes from the Boucher Vineyard, as mentioned before, in Yakima. It's got a lovely blackberry, black fruit to the nose here, flowers, Provençal herbs, olive tapenade, a note of animal like quality of this wine. This wine really fresh and zesty on the palate, and actually better with the mole sauce, the spicy sauce we had on the chicken here tonight, because of that acidity, that fresher style here. This wine really nicely balanced and like even more rich and complex on the second day. Excellent juice, most excellent juice. The Côte Rousse also most excellent. This from the Red Mountain AVA, a bit heavier than the Les Serines, and a really intense bouquet here. Dark currants, blackberry fruit, roasted coffee, black olive tapenade, wild game, light smoke, and a good hand of that Red Mountain terroir. Very distinct, the earth you get from Red Mountain. A big and chewy wine on the tongue with lots of tannins here. A host of that coffee and dark cocoa spice through the finish. Really lovely nuance. This wine just gains weight on the second day with layers of that Red Mountain terroir and a long finish. Most excellent juice as well. Both of these wines priced at $52.14. And then the two Cabernet, or the two Bordeaux-style blends, the Clos de Betz 2011 and the Père de Famille. And the Clos de Betz is the Merlot dominant wine. This wine's got 63% Merlot, 27% Cab Franc, and 10% Petit Verdot. This Merlot is from the oldest site in the Columbia Valley. This wine's got a lot of dark earth and mineral notes to the nose here. And lovely richness, lovely fruit. This 2011 vintage, very cold though, so lovely structure in this wine. A bit lighter in style, of course, than the Père de Famille, but still wonderful balance here, lovely nuance, and a long finish here. The Père de Famille here is mostly Cabernet, 88%, 9% Petit Verdot, 3% Merlot. Lots of dark currant and cassis berry fruit, an array of dark cocoa, fresh truffle, licorice spice. Really lovely richness and density on the tongue here with lots of that dark currant and cassis berry fruit. A long layered finish, exotic spice, lovely minerality. A lot of this fruit coming from Red Mountain. You really notice that in the dark cocoa and mocha spice. Lovely nuance. Even bigger on the second day. Most excellent juice. But the wine of the night, the 2002 Père de Famille. This wine, a blend of 77% Cabernet, 17 Merlot, 6 Malbec. Still a lot of that lovely dark currant cassis fruit on the nose here. A lot of damp kind of black earth, dark truffle, licorice, cocoa, cedar, cigar box. This wine even bigger on the second day. I thought it was really good when we opened it, but it needed time to open up. This wine shows you what these guys, they're accomplishing, what they've set out to do here, make world-class, age-worthy wine. And this wine really big and chewy on the tongue, but very well balanced and just killer juice, showing even better on the second day. So my vote for wine of the night, the 2002. That's what we had to drink with our friends from Betz Family Winery. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.